Good afternoon, everyone. Jordan Meyer here from Wholesome Family Farms. Gonna give you a little bit of visual here, what's going on at my mother-in-law's farm here. Just started running this year, and this is the one that we're doing the equip fencing with and all that. Yeah, this is the farm where we had to get 13,000 feet of 4-wire perimeter high tensile wire fence put up. We're using the mule system braces with fiberglass rods, and yeah, it's been going really well so far. We have a little bit left to do yet. We've been working on it since May, and it's September 5th right now, I think. So trying to sneak that in between moving all the critters on this farm and the home farm and the rented farm where the steers are, and then farming full-time for my dad and uncle on the dairy farm. So it's a little busy, but it's all well worth it. And yeah, this is the place where we got the interior fences running right through basically following the contour on this farm. This white stake, you're probably wondering what's the deal with that. Well, it's an 8-foot tall stake, and I'm using it so I can see where all of my quick couplers are that I got right here on the ground. So that way it'll be easier to find it when it comes time to moving cattle. You don't have to guess where the next coupler is and all that stuff. So that's what I'm doing for that. As far as the seeding goes, this was converted from cropland to perennial pasture here, and last fall, I think it was October 20th, we seeded must have been about 50 pounds of the acre of cereal rye out here. And then that came in, and then in the springtime I went out just with a regular drill. I didn't use a no-till drill, and I seeded in a bunch of different grasses, clovers and things like that. For the grasses, I think there was a little bit of perennial ryegrass, Vestolium, tall fescue, timothy, orchard grass. I don't know if there's any others that I think I might have even put a little bit of brome grass, but I don't know if I should have put that one in or not. That kind of comes on its own really easy in these parts, it seems like, so it's in there anyway. And then the clovers, there's red clover and white clover, and I think I put some bird's foot trefoil in there too. But it is crazy how dominant the red clover is right now. I think it's just trying to balance itself out and pour the nitrogen to her, and that's what I'm kind of guessing, because the rye was here before that, you know, and that was a really big nitrogen taker, and I'm thinking that the clover is really dominant now, trying to balance it out, so to speak. But overall, not too bad. This right here is what we're going into, and this is already going to be the third time grazing all this. I had rye out here that I was grazing cows over, and that was kind of a goofy deal too. I was grazing, or wanting to get out here earlier, like mid-May or even earlier, to start grazing that, because there's 75 acres out here, and let's just say the rye got ahead of me, because I didn't get the go-ahead until I think it was May 20th, and it wasn't even 4 days later. I just had one wire up around most of it, and I had got my cows out here and started grazing right away. So, but yeah, the clover looks pretty awesome. Let's go in here and take a look. Yeah, we got the grasses are just starting to come in here. Slowly but surely, I'm starting to see them a lot more now. Last time the clover was just knee to waist high, and it was just crazy. And now it's more around that, oh, I guess it's still about knee high yet. But I'm trying to keep it as mature as possible, because I don't need the cows getting the runs and squirts and all that stuff. So after I made the round with the trampling of rye and stuff, that was kind of a tough deal. I can tell they struggled a little bit. You can honestly push a cow too hard in the summertime, believe it or not. Like all the times I've grazed in the wintertime, you think you're pushing them hard and stuff. That wasn't even as hard as what it was pushing them to eat that really mature rye when I was doing that. So yeah, and with it being so dry this spring, the new seeding was really having a hard time coming, and then the rye I think sucked a lot of moisture out of it too. But on a normal year, whatever normal is anymore, the new seeding would have came a lot quicker than it did this year, and would have been off and running a lot easier, so to speak. But overall, the rain turned on, must have been in July there, and started getting timely rains and stuff, and everything turned out pretty good. I am pretty happy with it. So, got a few weeds, but what's a weed, right? Got some buttonweed out here, velvet leaf, whatever you want to call it. A little bit of tobacco, lamb's quarters, very few thistles. But yesterday I witnessed a cow that was eating a thistle in that other last paddock there. You can see the brown spot there. We got, I think it was about an inch of rain when I came out of the perennial pasture there and into the field, and boy, they trampled that. There's still carbon there, but it's definitely wasn't a big enough paddock. They weren't even there for a whole day. They were there for probably 20 hours, and that's what they did. But that came in this way. It was a little over an acre, and there's about 30 pairs here. So, but yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it here. Working our way around, trying to leave a lot of length on it and keep the grazing season going as long as we can. And that's about it. There's 110 acres here, so that chunk of ground right there, that's a horse pasture. And then the perennial pasture I have grazed, that's only been grazed 2 times this year. I didn't get to that until July. And that chunk right here, and you see a little brown spot there, I was actually bale grazing on that. I should have done videos with that too. But after I got done grazing the rye off, I went to that perennial pasture, and I was trying to get some more time on the new seeding. I wanted to see more blooms and stuff on the clover before I went into there. So it really pays off just stalling them a little bit if it wasn't quite there. And it pays big dividends if you're really paying attention to your forages and hitting them at the right time. So, but we're leaving plenty behind. They did a really good job of trampling here. Tons of feed. So, yeah, we're laying down a good few inches. Ooh, look at that beauty there. Night crawler there. Doing the work for us. It's nice and moist under here and just setting it up for major success. Beautiful stuff. And then that's the thing too, when you have a ton of clover and anything that's major nitrogen, it's really hard to get carbon laid down because the carbon to nitrogen ratio is just not there, and it just disintegrates. And it takes a lot more ground too to feed these guys when it's a lot higher nitrogen to carbon ratio. So, but the cow pats, I'm really happy with how they're looking. It helps to, like I said before, watch your maturity of your plants and how much of each type of species of plant you got out there. And like if this was all grass and it was all headed out and stuff, then pies would be stacking up a lot higher and stuff too. So with how mature the clover is compared to the grasses, I should say. A little bit of Queen Anne's lace out here. That all adds into it. But I'm gonna call these guys through and give them some more grass. I should show you a spot up here too in front of the gator. Speaking of that, I should get back to the kids too. I got Gabe and Kate with me right now. They love to take tools and stuff and scatter them all over the place. You want to go home? Yeah, we're going to move the cows really quick here.
I have to go put
Kids. This paddock here overgrazed it the last time we were through here, so we're going to skip this one and go to the next one and let this one sit and rest. But you can see walking through here, there ain't near the blooms out here on the clover like there is everywhere else. So there's some white clover. Haven't seen much of that lately. But yeah, this is only knee high. No blooms much either. Oh, I love seeing some grass. next year I suspect there'll be a lot more grass out here too. So, but with that, I'm gonna get the cows jumped through this paddock and into the next one and keep on fencing. Jordan Meyer here, Wholesome Family Farms. Everyone have a good day. Thanks for hitting that subscribe button, guys.